welcome to another episode of Two Gold Diggers. I'm Sonia Brown.
And I'm Lamika Weeks.
We are still and excitedly discussing Brian Tracy's No Excuses, 21 Ways to Achieve Lasting Happiness and Success. So the last 2 weeks we've talked about getting off of the island, and we've also discussed self-discipline and personal success. Last week's video shared with you 7 steps to achieve your goals. If you need that information, please visit our Facebook page. We have them there listed in detail, and we'll make sure we move it up to the top of the timeline so that you can see it easily. But check those out. I think they'll definitely help you. This week, we are discussing self-discipline within business, sales, and finance. More specifically, today, we are discussing Chapter 8 of this wonderfully written book, and that is self-discipline at work. There are some very, very key and vital points that Brian Tracy makes it a point to give us, and we're going to share a few of the ones that we think are really, really worth grabbing onto with you today.
Right. One of the things that he talks about is being separating relevant from irrelevant.
Yes.
We do this all the time. We have to decide, what's going to be important, what we do first, as well as calculating your hourly rate. What should I be doing so that I can get the work done that I need to get done, as well as get paid the amount that I need to get paid. A lot of times we accept jobs because this is what they pay, but that may not be what your worth is, and until you calculate what your hourly rate is, you really don't know whether or not you're doing something just to be doing it and getting underpaid, or if you're getting overpaid. So you definitely want to calculate your worth, calculate your hourly rate, and then when you go to work.
Bottom line.
Bottom line, we go to work. And that's not in a sense of driving into an office building. There's so many different ways that entail work, whether that's working from home, working on, just different things. There are different means to being work. But whenever you're deciding to work. Don't let email distract you. Don't let the phone distract you. Just make sure you focus on the task at hand.
Right. And so what all of that kind of looks like is this. Here's a real life scenario that I can share with you.
And I will say it wasn't me before she gets started.
Yeah, it wasn't Lamika. But a couple of days ago, I got a phone call at about 11 o'clock. It was more like between 10 and 10:30, but I was in the process of getting ready to leave out. Because I had started my morning earlier, I already knew what needed to be accomplished that day and what was relevant, what was irrelevant, and I knew what I needed to work on first. Well, getting this phone call, it was a request to design a program, and unfortunately, already knowing what my worth is and having calculated my hourly rate, it was not going to be feasible for me to accomplish that task and satisfy that customer and satisfy everything else. So I had to lay it down and let the person know what the rate would have been for that, including a rush fee. And needless to say, that project was one that I didn't have to undergo. It was a task that I didn't have to take on. But that's because, and this was even, it's so funny that we're discussing this now, because that was actually before we had even discussed what it was we were going to share with you today. But you have to sit down and know what your hourly rate is. If you're wanting to calculate what your current rate is, take your annual salary and divide that by 2,000, because that's roughly the amount of hours that we work in a year. And that will give you your hourly rate. So if you're making roughly, let's say hypothetically $50,000 a year, divide that by 2,000, and that gives you $25 per hour. Don't work on anything that's not worth that $25.
Or find somebody else that works at a lower hourly rate to get things done.
Exactly.
Just don't spend the time on trying to do it. You can do something else.
Because bottom line, you need to be doing something else, which is working on your goals and your vision and what it is that you need to be working on, which leads to being productive, not just busy. Make sure you're spending your time wisely. Last but not least, we want to tell you to dress for success at all times. Make sure you are dressing for the job you either currently have or the job you aspire to have. Preferably, it's that job that you aspire to have. So until we see you again, take care of yourself and each other. Imagine your goals, plan your work, then achieve them, and share those success stories with you. I'm Sonia Brown.
And I'm Lamika Weeks.
We'll see you later.